right? Why do we touch on water first? Because in the Chinese postnatal Bagua with the 5 elements, Chinese 5 element systems, water is the first element of the Chinese 5 elements. We are not talking about the exact same matching elements as in the the Sanskrit 5 elements, or what rather is called the Sankhya philosophy 5 element system. It's not exactly matching, but it's pretty similar. Okay, so water and fire still refers to the same things, except it could be a very coarse form or very subtle fine form. So a subtle fine form is the process C. A material gross form is something that you need to referring to. Water is water, fire is fire, wood is wood, that kind of things. Okay, so we'll touch on the Sankhya philosophy another time. Okay, so we start with we say it's the magic squares, right? 5 in the center. 河图洛书, this is 洛书. Well, where is the water then? Water is here, 1 and 6. Remember? 1 and 6, right? So this is the first. Now 2 and 7, 2 will be up here in the Hetu, but it swap position with the 4 and 9. So now 2 and 7 ends up over here. This is right. Fire move to the middle position in postnatal, right? Swap with the 4 and 9. So 4 and 9 move over here, right? So 4 and 9 is right. Metal now is swap over to the fire position. Okay, and 3 and 8, that's wood, so it doesn't change. Earth remains in the center, and other than the center 5, the 2 numbers opposite each other sums up to be 10, which is also Earth. Okay, that's why it makes the way the straight across or diagonally goes through the center. It sums up to 15. Okay, very, very simple. So basically, you're looking at the things, right? A swastika, right? Okay, so this pair numbers here, they see the pair of the element numbers still remain the same. So in the postnatal Bagua, usually that's why we do it this way. 1 is the beginning from the bottom. 9 is the growth, right? The final, the continued ascension of growth. So 9 is greater than 1. So that's why we put 1 at the bottom and put 9 at the top. And therefore, associated with the north is the number 1. North is at the bottom, south is at the top. Okay, don't reverse it. Okay, there's a logical reason for putting it this way. All right. So in the postnatal sequence, then we understand water will be the first element, heaven 1, right? Then earth 6. So what's 1? 1 is the very first numbers that begates. What are the begating number? We call the 生数 begating numbers, right? Remember, we touch on some of the basics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then there's a 乘数, accomplished or perfected number. So 乘 also means accomplished. Like in Sanskrit, that would mean siddha. Okay, attain, completed, attend to, completed. So any choice of English words is just try to describe this concept. Okay, so we just call it attain, right? Accomplish, complete, perfected. What are the attain number? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Right? But we know, 0 is not, 0 here is not a number, is a placeholder, right? It's not a countable units. It's a placeholder, so to make this 1 different than this 1 at a different level, but 1 is still 1. If it's transdimensional, then it returns to 1, right? Okay, so these are the 10 numbers. So we know, right? This is the first number begating. This is the first number attaining or perfection, completing, right? So the water, fire, wood, right? Water is 1, 6, fire is 2, 7, wood is 3, 8, metal is 4, 9, and then 5, 10 is the earth, right? But something happened here. We call this, metal fire change positioning. So the number, right? 2, 7 is 5 over here, but In the postnatal, this is metal over here. 49 is metal, right? But in this position, this house over here now is fire. Okay? So when I say the number in the say the river map, that has in a sense really no relative positioning yet. It's the spinning of the swastika, right? Eventually, this thing start to move. There's a motion. Okay, the swastika move. There's a motion, right? Like a spinning disc, a wheel, a chakra, a mandala. Okay, so now things beginning to mix up. That's called changes. Okay, so when we look at a river map or the magic squares, right? It's black dots and white dots. Try to, instead of looking at the numbers, right? Try to picture the number in black dots and white dots, how they work, like a marbles, right? You play with the marbles with your kids, right? They go run around, bump into each other, and this, couple marble, jump to a different group, and another marble jump to another group, etc. Stuff like that. So you don't have to swap all and everything. Just move a couple dots, black or white dots, and then you make the difference, right? It's like a hexagon. There's a moving line. So moving line is possible. You have 0 moving line up to all 6 moving line at the same time. Okay. So in the full hexagon definitions, you have to take the full set, 4,096 possible permutations for the hexagram. Okay, if you do a simple version of only 384, it's not going to do its justice. For simple questions, something simple, that will do. Okay, but for major questions, nobody's going to trust only 384. Major, life, purpose questions, or the divine, the state affairs of the whole people, the country. Nobody's going to play with only 384 permutation. That's not reliable. And they realize the problem. A lot of modern folks, when they study I Ching, they don't even understand this kind of basic points, right? If you follow according to the book of changes, I Ching according to Wang sequence, it will give you good guidance. But remember that somebody else's interpretation cases on their example, their experiences. It's not your current situation. Just like that example I gave before, right? If I say paper shredder, you're not going to find paper shredder anywhere in the book of changes. Such things does not exist. They haven't come up with that names yet, right? By seeing the change, if with the past, present, or future, once you understand the concept of principle, you automatically or naturally associate with a certain principle of change. This kind of principle is that what we're after. Really want to understand this. So with all this being said, what do I talk about 1/6, right? Because remember, there's a magic of 11 because 5 and 6, right? 5 is the last of the beginning. 6 is the first of attaining. 5 and 6 right next to each other, right? That makes these two the connecting numbers because 1 and 1 returns to 1, but it's a 10 at a different level. So 5 and 6 make it different, right? So 5 remains the same. So when we do the postnatal Bagua sequence, traditionally, or let me mention the prenatal. Prenatal, we always go by this sequence, okay? 前对离正巽坎艮坤. Remember this? Okay, this is the traditional way, 前对离正巽坎艮坤. If we were to assign placement number to that is called first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. There's no ninth, right? There's only 8 trigram, so it's first, second, third, fifth, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, eighth only, right? So that's in the order of 前对离正巽坎艮坤. Okay, always say, if you say like that, like a mantra, everybody know this is pre-order, and it is in fact a mantra. That's why most people don't understand this. It's Chinese I Ching mantra, like a Sanskrit mantra. Okay, they do use it for magical performances, for certain things, for chantings, for prayers, for even meditations. All right, that's why most people don't know about this sort of stuff. Don't realize I Ching study. As I said, true diviner do meditate and do practice meditation. All right. Okay. So now postnatal. Then where do you start at? Water. I already give you the hint, right? 1 and 6. So you either, you can start with a 1. That means the number 1, right? So it's 坎、艮、正、巽、离、坤、兑、乾. Or you can start with the 6. 乾、坎、艮、正、巽、离、坤、兑. So let me draw out the trigrams. I say if we start with a 坎, this is what 坎 looks like. Okay? Remember this is the number 1, right? In the matching out with the positioning of the magic square number. Okay? This is good. Of course, this is arranging a circular pattern, but I'm writing a square layout like magic square format, so it's easier to see. Okay. And then this is Zhen. See, you flip the gun upside down, becomes Zhen. Okay, this is Xun. All right. This is Li. By now, you should know this very well, right? So, and this one here is Kun. Okay. This here is Dui. Okay, and then Qian is over here. So the order of the Qian, most will go like a start on the 1 and going a clockwise circle. 坎、艮、正、巽、离、坤、兑、乾. Sometimes people will start with the Qian because Qian also is the first of the prenatal Bagua. So you start with the Qian. Now it's the first, right? First of prenatal Bagua. In the postnatal is in the position number 6. So first and 6, same idea as water, start first. So Qian is the initiate action. All right. So it's consider this the Trinity creation. Then what gives life? Creation gives life. No, you gotta have water first. No water, no life. All right, very simple science. Okay. In the sense of life that we know. Okay. Different dimensional life, of course, that we don't want to get into that right now. All right. So it's very simple natural science we're talking about here. So you can also chant in such order: 乾坎艮正巽离坤兑, just like a mantra. Or by more traditional, start with the number 1: 坎艮正巽离坤兑乾, chant like a mantra. So here are two mantra you have to know. 乾兑离正巽坎艮兑, you know this is prenatal. 坎艮正巽离坤兑乾, you know this is postnatal. So in this, the traditional way, Qian in the prenatal is the first syllable, right? In the postnatal, Qian will be the last syllable. Do you understand that? But if you were to take Qian as the beginning first syllable for both, right, the sequence of the change doesn't, still remains the same. You just, say alpha is omega. You just say the last as the first. That's all. Right? Still the same idea. So these are like mantras. You have to know this. Of course, there are other, Chinese metaphysical mantras. Oh, now you have to say that in Chinese, not in Sanskrit. That's the tradition. What can I say? If you came out with an English mantra and it actually does the job, in a couple thousand years, people will start to chant English. Do you understand that? Because in the English language, you never really develop such a system of knowledge and practice, right? Understanding about nature. So now let's look at this. Now let's just kind of doodle out, just to play out for the idea. Okay, we know the number 36 from the prenatal. Now let's doodle out the number of the sticks for the postnatal, just for the fun of it, right? So here's we have 5, right? Here's we have what? 4, right? Here we have 4. Then here we have 3. Hey, that's different, right? Here we have 4. Here we have 5. Here we have 5. Here we have 6. So what happened? 3 and 6, right? Still 4, 5, right? But 3 and 6 before that is over here. What? 3 is over here, right? 6 is over here, right? Right? Okay. The number of short stick, long stick pertaining to each trigram still remain the same number. So 6 on the 3, right? But they're changing things. Okay, this is one way to look at it, right? Still adds up to what? Right? Still adds up all together, still adds up to 36, right? Makes no difference because it's still the same number of sticks with the prenatal, postnatal, simply the position of the change. Okay, so now instead of 3, 6 in the middle, upper and lower, as above, so below, right? Now, because it rotated, right? That's why it's a swastika throwing. It rotated, it changed. So now they tip to the side, 3 and 6. That's telling you this thing is a change from the prenatal, okay? So something changed differently. Now, 4, 5 still adds at 9. 4, 5 still adds at 9, right? But see, but what's opposing here? 4, 3, now it's 7. What's over here? 6, 5, see, it's 11, right? And the other two says still 9 and 9. Right. Okay, 9, we already know this. Okay. Now, something different than in the prenatal. Now we have 7 and we have 11. 7, 11.